everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. So today we are going to make fluffy and moist vanilla cupcakes with the homemade caramel sauce buttercream. And so in the beginning of your cooking is going to help to have all of your ingredients together. We like to call it mise en place. So that basically means keeping everything in place. So first we're going to start off with some salt here. There's some baking powder, vanilla extract, 1 egg that is separated. We have some flour, butter, some sugar, and milk. And also with your cupcakes, you're going to want to have a cupcake pan. So here we have it lined with foil liners. And tip, if you're using cupcake liners, you do not have to spray them or butter them down because that's the purpose for the cupcake liners. But if you're just putting them straight into the pan, then you'd have to spray it with a cooking spray like Pam. We also have stand mixer, and if you do not have a stand mixer or a whisk attachment or a paddle attachment, you could always use a handheld mixer. So to begin with, we need to make our caramel sauce because that needs to cool completely. So here in this saucepan, I have a 1/4 cup of water and 3/4 of a cup of sugar. And so I'm going to stir it a little bit so it can start to dissolve. And now I'm going to heat it up on medium-high heat. And I'm just trying to get it to boil more. And then that's going to start to cook the sugar. So now we'll just let that cook. So here we have our caramel sauce, and it just started to bubble. So now we're just going to stir it. And then we're just going to let that cook to the desired color. For our caramel buttercream, I prefer it to be a darker color, but it can be whichever you prefer. When you start to make our cupcakes, we're just going to let the caramel sauce cook a little bit. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to sift 1 and 1/8 cup of flour together. We sift it along with the baking powder. You're going to have 1 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder. And you're going to have a pinch of salt. Salt you can usually put more to taste. Usually it's about 1/4 teaspoon. Okay. Now we're just going to sift this. Okay, so now that the caramel sauce has turned to a sort of amber brown or mahogany brown, we're going to take it off of the heat. And you're going to slowly pour in 1/2 cup of milk. And you need to be careful because this is really going to steam up. You're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter. Now you're going to whisk it in. Whisk in everything together. And then if you notice that you do start to get some clumps of the sugar, that is fine because we're going to put it back on the heat. Okay, so I put the caramel sauce back on the heat so I can thicken it up and get it to the consistency that I want. So now that it's just about there, taking it off the heat, and I'm just going to set it aside. Okay, so in here I have 1 stick of butter. You want to beat it until it's light and fluffy, so about a minute. Okay, so now we're going to add about 1 1/4 cup of sugar to the butter. And you're going to beat it on low speed and gradually increasing the speed till it's light and fluffy. So now we're going to add in about 1 1/2 teaspoons of vanilla and 1 egg yolk. And we're going to beat it until it's well combined. We're going to add the dry ingredients, the flour, baking powder, and salt, and the milk. We're going to add them alternating for 3 additions. So here now with the whisk attachment, we have 1 egg white that we're going to whip up to form soft peaks. So now that we have soft peaks formed in the egg whites, we're going to stop whisking it. And we're going to just fold the egg whites into the batter. So now we're just going to scoop up the batter and put it into the cupcake pans. till they're about halfway full. So now we're going to put our cupcakes into the preheated oven of 350 degrees, and we're going to keep it in for about 18 to 21 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. So now we're just going to beat a stick of butter for the buttercream frosting. We're going to beat it on high speed till it's light and creamy. Now we're just going to add our caramel sauce into the buttercream. So now that the cupcakes are out of the oven, they have cooled completely. Now we're going to fill them with our caramel buttercream. So I start here with the piping bag with the filling tip. I'm inserting it into the center of the cupcake and just squeezing it out till it gets almost full. So you can see it at the top. Cupcake is filled. We're going to use a star tip, and we're just going to pipe the frosting all the way around in a circle. And there you have it. And if you have extra caramel sauce, we can drizzle it on the top.